That Paramount logo is cool.
And that Marvel logo, I'll admit it was pretty inspirational.
They've certainly proven quite impressive.
Blake wasn't thrilled to talk to these two, knowing what they had planned. But if they were going to be stuck with them, they might as well try to make conversation.
Weird name for a town.
I've never heard of an old or regular Mexico, let alone a New Mexico.
Oh yeah, these are from a different world called Earth,
RWBY explained. She was still mad at Cinder for her plans to destroy Beacon and kill Penny and Pyrrha, but she decided to be civil, since the events hadn't happened yet. And more importantly, because her butt was basically glued to Cinder's thigh, so she couldn't escape the fiery woman.
and the name of that town is in one of their languages known as Spanish. It means Old Bridge or Ancient Bridge.
Penny explained. The two were quite amazed at this. A completely different world, multiple languages. This might be interesting after all.
What are they doing? From the looks of things, it looks like they're doing some sort of science experiment, trying to get some kind of reading based on those devices.
Lame.
Ugh, even more lame. It's boring enough they have to sit there, but with no music? That's torture.
The music would likely distract them from the devices.
Yeah, but it also distracts from boredom.
Sacrifices must be made for science, John. And if boredom is the only sacrifice required, I'd say it's worth it.
No, because storm chasing is actually cool.
What is an astrophysicist?
They're scientists that look at space, identifying other planets, stars, galaxies, etc.
That actually sounds quite fascinating.
Perhaps she could talk her father into looking more into space observation.
So, students, what was that about science being boring?
Ozpin asked with a smirk. Besides the fact he had to encourage learning as their teacher, he was a scientist in a few different lives and found it quite rewarding.
Oh, like you knew that would happen.
I wonder if I can make storms like that with only half the maiden power.
Cinder wondered, subconsciously running her hand through RWBY's hair. Thankfully, RWBY was too caught up by the storm to notice.
Okay, now things are getting good.
Got that right.
Worth a little bit of boredom?
I don't know about that. It's still a storm. Those can get dangerous pretty quick.
Oh, come on, Vel. It's just some weird lights in the sky. Atlas has those too. I've seen videos.
Nothing quite like that.
No amount of knowledge is worth dying for.
They need to get out of there.
Jeez, even Roman's a better driver.
Sure, Roman went crazy with that paladin, but he's at least careful enough to avoid pedestrians in their getaway cars during high-speed chases.
You complete dolts. You could have just killed someone. You're worse than RWBY with that dust.
I said I was sorry!
Besides, you were the one literally shaking the dust vial in her face.
You did what?
Winter demanded, glaring at her sister, who shrank down a bit.
I know for a fact I taught you how to safely handle dust. You should know better than that.
That was a big truck going very fast. His odds are less than favorable.
Yikes. It reminds me of Ruby's last driving lesson. I'm never letting Ty trick me into riding along with them again.
Hey, well, maybe it was your stupid old bad luck semblance making me mess up.
You let go of the wheel.
At least I've never hit anyone with Bumblebee.
Not much of a hero if he gets hit by a car in the first 3 minutes.
Give him a chance. I'm sure he's fine.
I hope he's okay.
There were likely events leading up to this moment we have yet to see.
Do you think we're alone in our universe?
I hope there are some aliens out there. I want to fight me an alien.
Nora, fighting is not what the first option should be if an alien life form ever comes to Remnant.
Depending on what they look like, though, I might have to go back to drinking.
Fear. I want that.
Cinder said with a smirk, longing to be feared herself.
Why do you want to be feared? What's the point? Everyone will only just hate you and want to bring you down. You'd be hunted like the Grimm.
People show respect to those they fear. It's that simple.
No, it leads to resentment, and eventually, people will think you're too dangerous to be allowed to live.
Cinder seemed to stop and consider this for a moment. That's something she'd never considered before. Salem told her being feared was everything. What else was she wrong about?
Frost giants? They might be creepier than Mercury with those cinder puppets.
I don't know what that cube thing is, but I don't like it.
Especially since the one up front is holding it. It's more than likely a weapon.
The humans need to get out of there now.
Velvet nodded frantically, their faunus senses giving them a heightened sense of danger, and those senses were going off like fire alarms.
No!
Such destruction.
All those poor people.
That kind of power? Even Salem never showed that level of destruction.
So, they are warriors, come to defeat the frost giants? They look the part, but who are they?
They are the Asgardians. Most people believe them to be gods. Their standard warriors are worth 2, maybe 3 of Crow. Sorry, Crow, you're still great.
No big deal.
You can do it, Asgardians.
Come on, beat the frost creeps.
Oh, look who's cheering for the good guys.
Better them than those psychos.
An entire planet, frozen.
I can do that, and I don't even need that cube.
Everyone looked at Gian, horrified.
What? I obviously wouldn't. I'm just saying I could.
Just what kind of world makes things as strong as you?
Many people were shocked as they saw Odin had lost an eye, especially Cinder, as Gian had specifically showed her that she would lose an eye if the fall of Beacon happened.
Of all the body parts you could lose, I never want to lose an eye.
Atlas can create artificial eyes. But yes, it's still something I wish no one would have to go through.
Just remember, students, always keep a strong guard and protect your vitals and weak points.
Well, at least they won in the end. Just too bad so many had to die.
Whoa! Why suddenly you don't seem that rich?
So much gold.
It's beautiful.
It doesn't seem wise to have an artifact so powerful seemingly out in the open like that, where a child can reach it.
It has to be in some kind of vault. No way he's dumb enough to leave that thing where anyone could get it.
Really? Even a golden eye patch?
What else for a king?
Ah, those boys are so precious.
But perhaps a little too young to have the knowledge dropped on them that they'll have to defend 9 entire realms.
That's not a king, that's a tyrant.
No one wants a king who only goes looking for a fight.
Wise words. Wouldn't you agree, James?
Yes, I agree. I suppose it's best to be prepared for a war coming to you than to prepare to bring a war to others.
He remembered what Jian told them and how bringing troops to fight a threat in Vale would lead to its ultimate destruction.
What excellent parenting. Talking like that is only going to pit your sons against each other. Our father practically had us at each other's throats in our youth.
You're all my wonderful children, but only one of you will be my successor.
What's happening here?
It seems to be a big event with Thor as the main focus.
It must be what Odin spoke of earlier. The right of succession. He's making Thor king to take over for him.
So he's a king?
Hello there, handsome.
Hey, that's my dad.
Nora, he's not really your dad. People just joke about that.
Oh, poor Loki.
Odinson? That's really his last name?
Yes. In their custom, your surname is generally your father's title to you. Thor is Odin's son, so he is Odinson. And Odin's daughter, if he had a daughter, she would be Hela Odin's daughter, because she's Odin's daughter.
Why Hela for a first name?
Just what came to mind first.
I want it!
She should never have that.
It sounds quite impressive, using the energy of a star to create it.
They have to use some kind of magic to be able to do that. If only we could recreate it somehow.
Of course you Atlesians constantly try to gain more power so no one can challenge you as we all get hungrier.
No.
The frost giants!
How do you not hear the ice forming, you dolts?
So cool!
My dad's a hero!
I believe he'll handle those duties well.
They've certainly made him sound like a capable guardian.
Then what could have happened to him at the beginning? Because that's clearly the man who was hit by the car.
Wow, even I feel inspired.
Yes, casting aside selfish ambition like that is no easy task. I tip my hat to anyone who can.
But you're not wearing a hat.
Cinder rolled her eyes. But a very small smile also formed. Ruby's childish antics amused her.
No! Don't let them get that cube thing back.
Incredible! That suit even likely puts Iron Man to shame.
I don't even think any of us could survive that with full aura.
Wow, that makes your fire look like stuff for lighting birthday candles, Cinder.
Neo giggled, only to squeak and try to use Yang as a shield when Cinder fired a few small flames from her fingertips at her.
The casket? That's a coffin.
Nah, man. It's called the Casket of Ancient Winters because it can produce enough ice to make a never-ending winter.
Sounds like a really cool relic.
Yang laughed while everyone else groaned.
I'm out of here.
He suddenly disappeared through a portal.
He's taking this way too lightly.
He doesn't want another war to happen, probably. Remember what Odin said during the story? The price of victory was too much in the end.
Both sides lost so much. No one wants it to happen again.
Except Thor, apparently.
So wait, what's a Jotun? I thought they were called frost giants.
It's another name for them. They live in the realm called Jotunheim, so they're called Jotuns. Just like how people on Earth are referred to as Earthlings and some of us refer to you as Remnantians.
Ooh, Remnantian, that sounds so much better than human. That's what I am now. Break their legs!
Seriously, what is it with her and breaking legs?
Neo had heard Nora make that threat several times over the few weeks she posed as a student of Beacon.
It's her go-to threat for bullies. I have no idea where she got it from, though.
Oh, that's kind of what I said.
But you can't simply invade a territory and punish the many for the needs of a few, Miss Valkyrie. All actions have consequences, and it's uncertain if the king of these frost giants had orchestrated this or not.
Exactly. They were clearly trying to get that cube back, to freeze the realms all over again.
Or they were just trying to retrieve an ancient artifact they believe belongs to them.
Sometimes people's motivation can be understood just by talking to them for a minute.
Also, a doubling of security is in order as well.
Did you see that robot thing? I'd say they got all the security they need right there.
Ouch, that's gotta be harsh.
But why isn't he king? You were just about to make him one.
After all that arguing about war, it sounds like he spit in the face of those 3 things he swore to honor. Would you want a king like that?
She actually has a point. Going to war with Jotunheim would put at least their 2 realms in danger. That certainly violates the first oath Thor swore.
Quite. Good observation, Miss Fall.
He likely won't respond to this rejection well. Poor Dad.
Ren groaned and was about to correct her, but Pyrrha put a hand on his shoulder.
Let her dream.
Well, we've got to see what happens next now.
Yeah, let's see some action.
Something tells me Thor's gonna go just a little overboard.
A little more than a little.